Over the last few years, Disney has been trying to pretend like everything's okay, like nothing's going wrong, despite the fact that their stock price plummeted, despite the fact that they have box office disappointments, despite the fact that they were losing billions of dollars on streaming. They still try to pretend like everything was okay, but now they can no longer pretend, and for the last several months, they've been in full-blown panic mode, firing thousands of people, cutting a ton of content to try to save billions of dollars because they know it's not sustainable. And today, it looks like some of the people responsible for one of the biggest Disney box office failures in recent memory are now on the chopping block. Makers of Lightyear flop among Pixar's job cuts by Disney. Now, as I said, thousands of people have been fired. Over 7,000 people have been fired over the past several weeks and months by Disney in an effort to save money. We also saw with their failing streaming service, lost 4 million subscribers just last quarter. They made a ton of cuts to try to save over $1 billion there as well. Disney's trying desperately to tighten the belt because they know they have failed. They've been putting the priority on identity politics and agenda instead of entertaining people, and it finally came back to bite them in the ass. And Lightyear was one of the most embarrassing failures they've ever had. The Toy Story franchise is obviously massive, has done incredible numbers for them, and taking a character like Lightyear in a little spin-off movie, everybody thought that was sure to make money. Wrong. It was a disaster for them. Director and producer of Toy Story spinoff lose roles after $200 million production budget brought in just $226 million in global ticket sales. And we can go right here for the rest of the story. The film's director and 26-year animation veteran Angus MacLane and producer Galen Sussman are among those out. Walt Disney Pixar Animation Studios cut 75 positions last week, including 2 executives who worked on the financial disappointment. Disappointment's that's one way to put it. It was a flop. It was a failure. This is something, despite the fact that they put out these bullshit numbers about paying themselves $100 million for the rights to stream this thing that nobody cared about, this is something that lost over $100 million for Disney. That's how bad it is. Angus MacLane, director of the unsuccessful Toy Story spinoff and 26-year animation veteran, who was also part of Toy Story 4 and Coco. I actually love Coco. I kind of don't like Toy Story 4. Was included in the cuts. Galen Sussman, a producer on the film who'd been at Pixar since 1995, was also removed from her role. That is a long-time employee. Now, that is someone who's actually credited with saving Toy Story 2 because the studio accidentally deleted like almost all the Toy Story 2 footage, and she had some on her home computer, something like that. That's kind of a story that goes back when she is no longer at Pixar either. And this is just the story of Disney animation, what it has been for the past 3 going on 4 years. Because as we've talked about, the last 3 years straight, Disney lost at the box office to Universal when it comes to family animation, something that Disney used to be the king of, specifically Pixar. It used to be Pixar didn't put out any failures. Everything they did was just an absolute banger and made bank. But that has not been the case as of late, and you're seeing the box office results. And this year, obviously, is going to be more of the same. This headline kind of said it all. Super Mario Brothers movie is the worst case scenario. It is Disney's biggest nightmare, because now they have another massive franchise to build off as Disney just continues to flounder. And it's not getting any better for Pixar. The newest Pixar movie, Elemental, is set to release in a few weeks, and this as well looks to be a flop. It looks like it might be one of the worst box office openings in Pixar history, on track to be one of the worst performing movies in Pixar box office history. This is the story all around Disney right now. It doesn't matter if you're talking about Marvel or Star Wars or Indiana Jones, what that projection is. Like almost everything that they're doing right now, with the exception of a 20th Century Fox production with, Avatar 2. Obviously, Disney bought that studio while a lot of these things were still in the works and plan, and that's a James Cameron deal. Or, of course, things that have the Disney name on it, but really was a Sony production like No Way Home. Those are the things that are doing like insane numbers. It seems like so much else from Disney ends up being a disappointment. To be fair, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is actually going to break even. It's actually broken even. Incredible. That's now a success for a Disney release, to be honest with you, just breaking even. That's certainly not the way that they want to look at it, but you kind of have to with all the failures they've had in recent memory. And now, the people that were behind one of the biggest box office flops and embarrassments in Disney and Pixar history, probably the worst. This might be the worst with the level of hype that there should have been for a character like this, with how recognizable this character is. and Disney and Pixar totally blew it. And now these people are out of a job after being involved with this big of a flop. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. More bad news for woke Disney in a desperate attempt to save money after having failed so hard. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.